Okay, welcome back to my kitchen, and today we're going to make my signature Arabian spicy nut rice, which is absolutely delicious, versatile and so simple to make. So, most important thing before we start cooking is that you have all your ingredients ready. To begin with, here I am just chopping the onion, and you can all see I'm a really good learner because I learnt this tip from my mother-in-law. Okay, so keep the end of the onion intact, and you are able to then chop most of that half off without any wastage. So let's begin by washing our rice from any dirt or dust, and also I like to rinse my rice until the water runs clear to remove all the starch. Okay, here I'm going to give you a bit of a tip. Be generous with your olive oil and use the quantity I have suggested, because that's key to a really delicious rice. Alright, first we're going to fry our nuts, because what I want here is I want the flavour from the nuts in the oil before I saute my onion and my meat. So I'm going to begin by frying the pine nuts, and I highly recommend you start with the pine nuts before the slivered almonds. Pine nuts are naturally oily, so if you fry your almonds first, what will happen is your oil is going to be so hot, the pine nuts, they're going to actually burn. And as you can see, these pine nuts don't take long at all. They're nice and golden, so we're going to remove those and put them on some paper towel. And now we add the almonds to the same oil. The oil is really hot, so you will find that they will brown quite quickly. Okay, so let's add the onion to the oil that we have just fried the nuts in, the pine nut and the slivered almonds. We're going to get that nutty flavour, which is delicious. Here we go. Now that our onion is nice and translucent, I'm going to add the mincemeat. It's a really good idea for you to take your meat out of the fridge about 30 minutes to an hour, so it's not so cold. When you add it to your onions, it is much easier for you to break down. So now we're just going to go ahead and break that meat. Okay, we want this to be brown but still moist. We don't want to dry the meat up. I'm going to add my washed rice to the meat. So this is the key ingredient to this rice dish. Some call it Bharat, some call it 7 spice blend, some call it 5 spice blend. This is my blend, and it's got 7 spices in it. I'm going to use that on the rice dish. You can find it in Middle Eastern grocery stores, or some supermarkets now also sell them. Otherwise, substitute with allspice. So now I'm going to add that to the rice and the meat. Another tip, vegeta is a seasoning to substitute salt. If you don't want to use vegeta, just use salt, but do not use both. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of that, and I'm not going to add any salt. So toss it around slightly, give it a good mix until it's really well combined. And now I'm going to add some hot water. I'm going to reduce the heat and let that simmer. I believe that rice likes to be left alone. So it's not necessary that you stir your rice around. You can, and basmati rice is what we actually use today. Basmati rice is very forgiving. So if you do give it a stir or two, okay, it will not mush up, but you could easily cover your rice and just let it cook. So now we're going to serve the rice. It's ready to go. It smells delicious. Okay, this rice is a crowd pleaser. It is so simple to make. Mums out there, I find that most children that have this rice will not ask you to make them another meal. So how cool is that? And my boys used to take this for their lunch the next day. So you can have this also at room temperature. It really doesn't have to be hot. Serve that in your whatever serving dish. I've also served this in a round bowl, so whatever you have on hand. So now we scatter the pine nuts and the slivered almonds that we fried right at the beginning. Okay, and this is going to add that crunchy texture, the flavor with the rice. It is absolutely delicious. If pomegranate is in season, okay, just a sprinkle of that over the rice is visually appealing. It looks beautiful. Now, you can serve this with a simple salad, or I love mine with yogurt. Today, I've got a cucumber and yogurt salad, and I'll be serving mine with that. Serve this at your barbecues, at your gatherings, at a dinner party. It looks so visually appealing that your guests will think that you have spent hours making this, but you have spent under 30 minutes making that. So, enjoy, give it a go, and let me know what you think. Super good, one of my favourite dishes ever.